Good morning, afternoon, evening, y'all. Depending on when y'all watching this, today's second lesson of this Algebra 1 course, order of operation. All right, order of operation. Something that you should have been introduced to at an earlier age, or at least, I would assume maybe fifth grade, fourth grade maybe. Depending on when you were introduced to it, it is still an important one of an important building block in Algebra 1. Again, a lot of these early lessons will include things that you've learned before, and then we just can gradually add something to them. And that's basically the whole concept of math in general, right? Not necessarily something you learn, or you learn a new concept, a brand new concept with no essence of previous concepts. There's always essence of previous concepts, even in newer concepts, if that made any sense. Or I'm just blabbing. Either way, order of operation, it's just, I guess the way I would explain order of operation, just mathematicians got together and just came up with a way that we would deal with expressions that include multiple operations. So any expression that has multiple operations, remember, by operation, I just mean a plus sign, or plus addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Exponents as well, which are just repeated multiplication. But any expression that includes multiple operations, there's a specific way that we solve them, or there's a specific order in which we solve them, i.e. order of operation. All right, I'll stop talking. Now, there is one, or the method that or the order that we do solve them in. A lot of you probably have heard of this. It is called PEMDAS. 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 All right, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. If some of you remember this, there are probably other wordings to it. But that is the one that I know of. Now, what these letters stand for: P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, M and D stands for multiplication, division. The reason why we write them together, because it depends which of the two comes, or it comes up first, I guess. If you read an expression from left to right, if division comes before multiplication, we're going to divide before multiplication. Multiplication comes before division, we're going to multiply before divide. And then addition, subtraction also, they're written together because it depends on which order that it shows up in, right? If addition comes before subtraction, then we're going to add. If subtraction shows up before addition, then we're going to subtract. All right? Let's get right into it and just do some examples, and hopefully we get a better understanding of this. Evaluate. If you watch a previous video, you know evaluate just means solve. So evaluate these expressions. Let's see. Number uno, 27 divided by 3 squared times 2 minus 3. Well, I'll just write a few and then we'll solve them all in, I guess, one after another. 3. 15 plus 6 squared minus 4. All right, you know what? We'll just do those 3 first, and then we'll move on from there. All right, number 1. As you see, are there any parentheses? No, so we'll just put an X by that. Again, if in the beginning, if you just having issues or trouble remembering the order, if you just write the word PEMDAS, or at least if you write the order in which to go in parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, or addition, subtraction, and I guess use it as a checklist, I would say, right? No parentheses, X. Exponents, boom. We do have exponents, 3 squared. That's what we'll do first. So we do have exponents. We'll already check there, and then we'll do that first. So 3 squared is 9, okay? Again, there are a few ways you could do this. One way I like is just to rewrite everything, and then with the new answer. So 3 squared becomes 9, and I'll just rewrite the whole, or the rest of the expression, okay? Now, what comes first? We do have division first. Remember, division and multiplication, they come in order. It depends which one comes first. So since division shows up first, we'll do division first, right? So 27 divided by 9, that is 3. And again, just write the rest of your expression, okay? I feel this is Again, I'm not gonna say it's the best way of doing things, or it's for me. I found it a little simpler because you've ran everything in order, no confusion later on. Next, we have multiplication. We have subtraction. Well, we do have multiplication that shows up before subtraction, so we'll do that first. 3 times 2 is 6. And now we're just left with 1, which is subtraction. 6 minus 3 is 3. So your answer here is 3. All right. Now, next question. We do have multiplication. We have an exponent. We have addition. We know that based on PEMDAS, boom, PEMDAS, exponent shows up first, comes first, or again, in that order, parentheses, then exponents. Exponents before multiplication or addition. So we're going to do that first. 3 squared again, that's 9. So 2 times 9 plus 4. Again, I'm just rewriting the rest of the expression. Now multiplication comes before addition. 2 times 9 is 18. And then you're just left with addition now. 18 plus 4, 22. All right, next one. We have 6. We have an addition. We have addition or a plus sign. We have an exponent and we have subtraction in the expression. Again, your expression exponent goes first. All right, boom. So 6 squared, that's 36. And then just rewrite the rest of the expression. Now we have addition, subtraction. Again, depends which one shows up first. In this case, your addition shows up before subtraction, so we're going to do that first. 15 plus 36, that is 51. All right, minus 4. And now subtraction is the only one left. And 51 minus 4 is 47. All right, great. All right, let's move on from here. Now, let's include or let's do some different problems now. And again, we'll just, as we move on from them, I'll show you what it is. I feel like I'm just blabbing. We'll just do some more examples dealing with different ways that an expression can be written. Because again, expressions can be written in many different ways or varieties. And we'll just, again, try to solve as much as we can. And then, of course, after that, we'll include some variables as well and then see how that works when you are dealing with variables as well. So, well, we'll just say number 1 again. Okay, you know what? Number 4. We won't say number 1. We'll just continue. Number 4. Number 5. And number 6. You know what? Let me just fix that one. Dun, 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 dun. Man. 3s. 3s are very, or the number 3 for some reason. It could come out looking beautiful or just come out looking just disgusting looking sometimes for me. All right, let's move on. We have 7 times. Remember, since there is no, if you look between 7 and the parentheses, there's no sign whatsoever. There's no operation, which automatically means multiplication. But remember, go back to PEMDAS. There is a parentheses, or there are parentheses. All right, so we'll do that first. 13 minus 8 is 5. Okay, and then now, again, anytime you have a number next to parentheses, and I believe we mentioned that in the previous video, that means multiplication. So this is just another way of writing 7 times 5, which is 35. Again, I'm telling you that 3, sometimes it's like a hit or miss sometimes when you're writing it. All right, here we have parentheses. First, so we'll do that. Again, we do have exponents, but remember, your parentheses does show up before the exponent, so we'll do that one first. Parentheses. So, but inside the parentheses, we do have exponents. So here, we'll do the exponent inside the parentheses first. So 3 squared, that's 9. And then 9 plus 1. Again, as I told you, I just like to rewrite everything that way. Everything is written in order. I don't miss anything, and there's no silly mistakes made here. Okay, now we have the parentheses 9 plus 1, because remember, in the parentheses we had an exponent, so we had to do that first. So 3 squared was 9. Now, again, we still have the parentheses, so we still have to deal with that. 9 plus 1 is 10, and then 24 minus 10 is 14. All right, now here we have brackets. So in the bracket, we also have parentheses. So we have to do that first. It's like you're working it, you have your bracket, you know you're gonna have to work in the bracket first. But within that bracket, you also have parentheses. So you gotta go even deeper in. So work on that parentheses first, right? I don't know, I keep erasing the check mark for some reason. And so we'll work on that. So 8 plus 13, that is, 8 plus 13 is 21. Okay, so we have 2 times 30 minus 21. Okay. Then, now you work on your brackets. 30 minus 21 is 9. And basically, again, this is the same thing with parentheses. You have a number right next to a bracket. There's no operation between that number and the bracket. Automatically think multiplication. 2 times 9 is 18. Great. Moving forward, or moving on. Either way. Now let's deal with algebraic expressions. So basically, we've just been dealing with numerical expressions so far because there are no variables. So if you look at 1 through 6, we haven't included any variables in any of these expressions. And now let's just gradually add some variables or see how we deal with expressions that do include variables. So let me write an example, and then we'll move from there. Evaluate the expression when x equals 4. And the expression that we'll deal with first, before we do a few examples, is this one. We have 9x over 3 times x plus 2. Okay? Hit or miss with that 3. All right, now, again, we do know what our x is. It is given. So again, we're not solving an equation, it's an expression. So you are given the x, it's 4. So for every x in that expression, you're just going to substitute it, or substitute a 4 for each x. All right, you see that? For each x, I just substituted it with a 4. Now, usually we will work on the top, since we have some sort of fraction looking expression, right? It's division. Remember that fraction sign is also a division sign. Work on any, or the expression that's in the numerator first, then work on the expression in the denominator, and then later on you can divide. But do one at a time, okay? This case, we'll just start with the top. 9 times 4, again, there's no operator or operation between, there's no sign between 9 and the parentheses, i.e. multiplication. 9 times 4 is 36. And then in the denominator, we have 4 plus 2 first. So we're going to do that first. What's 4 plus 2? That is 6. And then you have 3 times 6, which is 18. Okay? And 36 divided by 18, we know, is 2. All right. Now, let's work on a few examples from this. Now we'll start from 1. Number 1, 4 times 3 plus 9. Number 2, 3 times 8 minus 2 squared. You know what? I just noticed there's more expression of this. I don't even know what I'm doing. There we go. Y. You know, we'll make them all y, and then we'll set a number for y. Why not? Number 3. 2 times 9 plus y divided by 4. Close the bracket. All right. We'll write evaluate when y equals 3. How about that? And I won't make it a big number. Y equals 3. Now for each one of these y's, we're going to, for each one of those y's, we're just going to substitute it with a 3. So for this one, first number 1, 4 times 3 plus 9. 3 plus 9, remember, parentheses first, 3 plus 9 is 12. And then 4 times 12 is 48. Number 2, 3 times the y. Again, we're going to substitute a 3 for it. Now, in the parentheses, we're just going to do the exponent first, because again, when you work in your parentheses, we know we're going to work on the do the parentheses first. Now, within that parentheses, we do have a subtraction sign and an exponent, so we'll do the exponent first. So 2 squared is 4. Okay, so you're left with 3 times 3 minus 4. Okay, 3 minus 4 is -1. And then 3 times -1, -3. Okay. Again, if you integers, anytime it's a small number minus a larger number, still subtracting, but your answer will be a negative. All right. So we end up with a -1. Then anytime you multiply a negative by a positive, 3 is positive, your 1 is a -1, you get a negative. So 3 times -1, -3. All right. 2 times, and don't worry, as we move forward, especially, we'll definitely practice with some integers. Probably not as much practice as you've gotten before with integers, but we'll do a little bit of that as well. 2 times 9 plus y, 9 plus, and remember y is 3, divided by 4. Now, within your bracket, you do have a parenthesis, so you have to work on your parentheses first. And within that parenthesis, you do have a 9 plus 3. So 9 plus 3 is 12, divided by 4. Again, now the bracket, 12 divided by 4, 3. And then 2 times 3, 6. All right. So, and you know what? Let's do another example like the very similar to this right here. Just so we'll do number 4. And so we have an idea of what that might look like. For this one, let's say y is equal to 8. Okay? So evaluate when y equals 8. So here we're just going to substitute 8 for y. Ten times 8 is 80 plus 1, 81. 8 plus 1, 9. Now we just divide, right? I just did the top, right? But remember multiplication first. 10 times 8, 80. Plus 1, 81. And then after that, I went and I solved the bottom, or the denominator of that fraction. 8 plus 1 is 9. And now we know, remember, if you don't remember this, then always know that fraction is also that sign, that's a division sign. So it's 81 divided by 9. And 81 divided by 9 is 9. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right. We'll stop here for today. For this lesson, order of operation is the first. Hopefully, it was straightforward. I'll leave some questions in there for you to practice with, just like the previous lesson. And then at the end of that, I'll leave the answers for those questions. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this. Have a good one. And please don't forget to subscribe and leave in the comments. Let me know how it was. Anything or any constructive criticism would definitely be appreciated, because why not? That's about it, y'all. Have a good one.